Okay, group, so as we continue with session 2 and encouraging good behavior, we're going to go to exercise 4, which is page 28 of your book, and talk about praising your child. So in this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to give specific praise. So if you can think of part of, if you go back to session 1 and you think of what your personal goals were, what you wanted to see in your child, we're going to look at those praises. So how can we praise that behavior? We're going to take about 3 to 5 minutes. We're going to write down some phrases. When we get done, we're going to go over them and talk about how to make them more specific and encouraging to your child. So if you will go to your workbook, we can start with that. So, Diamond, are you finished with your phrases?
I am.
Would you like to give me a couple examples?
Sure. So one of my goal behaviors was for my kiddo to turn off the TV when I asked to go take a shower at night, and also to do their chores when asked.
Okay. So if your child turned off the TV, what kind of praise did you use in the workbook?
So typically I would say, thanks for turning off the TV.
Okay. So that's pretty specific. You're bringing in the behavior that you liked.
Yeah.
Is there a way that it could be a little more specific?
I think saying, thanks for turning off the TV and getting in the shower when I asked, so they know it's not just about, they turn off the TV, but I asked them to do it, so they're following the instruction.
Yeah, thank you for following instructions.
Yeah.
Is there other words besides thank you that you could use that you think that after a while, when people go thanks.
Yeah.
So what other ways could we be specific in showing that we're praising what they're doing for us?
Yeah. Maybe saying like I appreciate it when you follow instructions, or it's really nice when you do these things, those sorts of things.
Right, that's perfect. Let's see, what else do we need to do? What was the next praise that you had on there?
So doing chores. So again, it's kind of that cooperation, like doing things when you're supposed to, or even doing their chores like unprompted. Like we have a chore chart so they know what chores they have to do. My oldest kiddo doesn't like to take out the trash, and so he doesn't do it. He just doesn't do it. And so, trying to find ways when he does do it to praise him can be hard, because it's usually I'm like, finally you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so I guess just remembering to say, thank you, or it really helps me when you take out the trash, maybe.
So, how old's your son?
7.
Okay, so if we think about when your son was 2, and it's time to potty train, or 3, those negative, that excitement we get when they do something that's good, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that something like that would work with your son, since that's something that he doesn't necessarily like to do, but when he does it, where you're like, finally,
right,
maybe thinking about it in a different way of saying, I'm not saying throw him a potty party, but I mean, is there like specific ways that you could kind of praise that?
And maybe just being more enthusiastic, like, it really helps me when you do this, and just being enthusiastic and letting him see that it's helpful, and maybe he'll want to do it more. He likes to help, but so maybe that would be helpful.
So besides verbal praise, what are other ways that we can praise our children? So let's keep the same trash scenario. What are other things besides the verbal praise that you could do with your son?
Maybe like high fives.
Right. They love it. He's 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fist bumps.
Yeah. Secret handshake.
Oh, secret handshake.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's very good. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and move on to our next exercise, if there's not any questions. Do you have any questions about that, or does that make pretty good sense for you?
Yep, it makes sense.
In the next exercise, we're going to kind of break down some different things, activities, and get some specific praise for that. So maybe that'll help if you have any other questions.
Okay.
All right, well, let's move on.
Okay, so what went well?
What went Actually, after we started actually having the conversation, that's a conversation I'd have with a parent. I don't necessarily know that I get the competencies. I can't remember what they asked for, but that is very reminiscent of how I would have a conversation with a parent about
Yeah.
an activity.
Yeah.
So giving them ideals or getting them to think of other ideals other than a standard thank you I thought it was really great that you were kind of vulnerable because parents tend to get that way and
Right.
say, you know, I'm just like finally
Right.
because that really is kind of how we tend to talk to our kids.
Yeah.
So that gave an opportunity to give really good examples. I don't think I referred back to the book again, which is probably in there.
Nope.
But all in all, I mean, it's a great exercise. I like it, and it goes into another exercise that keeps doing it. So I like that part of it.
Anything you would change?
What would I change? Yes, I would change having this book in front of me, making me nervous. It makes me think I'm forgetting things because realistically, the greatest thing about praise and encouragement is actually talking about praise and encouragement. To me.
Yeah.
So having the exercise there, it's a short exercise. It's only a little blurb, but actually having that conversation with other ways and other things and exchanging ideas amongst the group is always nice.
So what's important about descriptive praise? So like what are those pieces that are really important for parents to grasp?
Which I probably left out in explaining why we're doing this. One of the things that I like to tell my parents is you can tell it's no different than when someone talks to you and says, hey, thanks, or I love you, and you go, why you love me today. We want to know those things for our kids. So if we want our kids to continue to do things for us, we need to let them know specifically what they're doing that's getting them the praise. So I can tell you, stop that, and you may be doing 3 things wrong. Or I can say, I need you to stop jumping on the couch and sit on your bottom. And understanding how being specific, those kids gravitate toward that, and then when you go back and you praise, when you find them doing that, then they get excited. So instead of telling them to stop jumping on the couch, walking into your room and saying, oh my God, Diamond, thank you for not jumping on my couch today. This is exciting. Thank you. Look at you watching TV. Then that's the behaviors that they're going to gravitate towards. They're going to go towards that praise. So catching kids being good.
Yep.
And being specific about it.
Perfect. All right. Anything else you need to add to that one?
I don't think so, is there?
All right.